thank you for having me today. I'm excited to be here. And I know we've been talking about emerging industries. We've been talking about transforming industries. I'm here to make the case for neither. I'm here to talk about actually reinventing. So we're all transforming. Let's talk about reinventing. So we're going to start off with thinking about these 5 forces. Look, did you all know that your clicker has a pointer? Look at that. We're going to talk about the 5 forces. Okay, these are the things that we're all dealing with. And I think we've been through a lot of this today, so I'm not going to spend a lot of time on it, but total enterprise reinvention. We have to redefine what our business even is. You all know what the talent one is talking about. I think we'll keep on that. Sustainability. We talked a bunch in our last session about clean energy and what is sustainability. The metaverse, you can call it whatever you want, but the intertangling of our digital lives and our physical lives in the metaverse, going to totally change things. And then just the ongoing tech revolution. There has never been a faster pace of technology change than there is right now, and no indication that that's going to stop or decline. So these 5 forces shaping the next decade of what we are all doing. So I'm going to start with, in 2013, Accenture put out a paper that said, every business is a digital business. 2013, 10 years ago. Some days I'm like, 10 years ago, that was like nothing. But then you're like, oh, well, let's see, my daughter wasn't even in kindergarten yet. I had just gotten my first iPad. And we made this declaration, every business is a digital business. And I can remember having a hard time wrapping my head around that. We heard Renee earlier talk about the glass and all of those things, and that then they became a digital business in 2018. It wasn't about these huge pieces of Tesla glass that they had to move around. It was around how do we have a digital business that then enables that? And here we are. But when we put that out, we also started tracking companies that said, hey, yeah, I'm going to embrace this whole digital concept. I'm going to embrace technology. I'm going to move my company forward, against those that didn't. So yes, somewhere in my archives, I've got a big spreadsheet of all of you that says where you are leading and who are laggards, and then what your revenue has done accordingly. And, let me get my little pointer out, if you are a laggard down here, basically, your revenue grows slower. And from 2015 to 2018, it was about 2 times bigger if you were a leader in adopting digital technologies. Then, over the course of the next 4 years after that, 5 times. Now, you can see that little drop there in during the pandemic, and then this is our prediction of what's going to happen. So this isn't just about, hey, do you want to be digital or not? This is about, do you want to survive as a business, and do you want to make more money? That's what we're talking about, and why I want you to think about the case for total reinvention. All right, a couple more things around background. Convergence of 3 factors has inspired a small but growing number of companies to become reinventors. So let me just tell you about these classifications. We call them optimizers. People are just like, let's make it incrementally just 1% better, if I can just optimize. Then we've got the transformers. Like you're taking this piece of your business and you're transforming it. We've been talking a lot about transformation today. And now there's this growing number of companies that are thinking about it from a reinvention perspective. I need to change everything about my company and how I compete and how I show up for my customers in today's market. And those factors that are driving that, these macro trends, you all know what they are, whether they're economic, social, geopolitical, climate, consumer, all the technology that is coming our way. The pace of that technology change, just when you put in the newest, greatest, bestest technology of all time, there's a new one. What are you going to do? And then there's just this post-pandemic-ness that we all are facing. There's all kinds of change that continues to come at us. Consumer experience continues to evolve and to change. But what we hear from companies is that 70% of enterprise transformation efforts fail to meet the business expectations. That's a pretty large amount. You want your transformations that you're putting your time and your people's energy to work out. All right, let's just talk a little bit about that macro environment change. To what extent have the following external forces accelerated your organization's reinvention strategy? Okay? So 79% say the pace of technology innovation is what's driving that change. 67, they're the second bullet, say shifting consumer preferences. Post-pandemic, consumers expect something different. 46% say climate change. 42% say high energy prices. You can read that all down the line. But then the next thing is super interesting, I think. If there's a recession in your main markets in 2023, will your organization accelerate its reinvention strategy? So the news is hell-bent on making us think we're going to have a recession. So if there is in 2023, are you going to back down? Are you going to walk away? Or are you going to accelerate your reinvention? Globally, 75%. In North America, 73% say they're going to accelerate. All of these things going on, and we're going to accelerate what we're doing to reinvent our business. All right, I talked to you about the transformers, well, the optimizers, 6%. Those are not the companies that are going to survive. That 6% are just hanging on. 86% out there actively transforming, focusing on transforming parts of their business, and we're estimating now 8% of companies are thinking about this in a total enterprise reinvention. The thing that I think is important about this 86%, and my daughter's doing a lot of algebra now, so I could do this math problem, but I'm not going to. If 70% of the transformers, which is 86%, failing to meet expectations, that's a lot of transformations that aren't working out so well. So maybe I need to think about how I want to think about reinvention versus transformation. Now, you can go to my website and you can get all of these beautiful circles and things, but the point about the reinvention is we're not optimizing, we're not transforming, we're reinventing. It's a deliberate strategy set for new performance. This is not about, I'm going to go ask you, Paula, for what the benchmark is, and I want to be 1% better than that benchmark. This is about the benchmark didn't even exist, and now it's important, and I'm going to go figure out how I'm going to use that. Okay, so I've convinced you, right? You're like, yeah, I'm in. I want to be a reinventor. So what does that mean? What are those characteristics? What do I do for my company to be a reinventor? So it's a strategy. It's no longer an execution level. I've set my strategy and now I want to pull the reinvention lever. Reinvention is the strategy. It's beyond benchmarks. I just talked about that. It's embracing the art of the possible. What is out there? What do I want to do? What is different? Mr. Gorman, I liked how you said it has to be doable. Absolutely has to be doable. But you have to think about what is that thing that I want to get to and reinvent for my company. Reinvention is boundaryless. How many times have you heard, well, technology can't do it, or the business doesn't understand? This is about getting rid of those silos, operating as one company towards a reinvention strategy. Okay, I didn't talk about this at the beginning, but you would have seen it in my little circle. The digital core. Back to every business is a digital business. You're investing in that digital core and what that digital core as a core capability is doing for you. I also heard Julie talk about, I outsourced this piece of my business because it wasn't core to my strategy. It wasn't something that I was differentiated and good at. What I am good at is my digital core, and I'm investing in that. Talent, strategy, and people impacts are central to reinvention. Somewhere along the way, change management became like this bad thing, like, we don't need any of that change management, just like get the technology out there and we're gonna roll. Change management is central to what you're doing when you're talking about reinvention. You want your team to come along with you. We usually talk about 70% of your team is going to make this kind of journey with you. 30% of your team is not. And what are you going to do about that to manage all of those impacts? And then my last point, reinvention. It's continuous. It's not something you do and you're done with it. It's not a transformation, I'm transformed, I'm done. It's a continuous strategy. All right, just a few numbers to leave you with. So, companies that we've seen in the last decade that have gone about a more enterprise reinvention strategy, reinventing, higher incremental revenue growth, higher cost reductions, and P&L improvements. Reinventors versus transformers, 10% more growth. Reinventors versus optimizers, 22% more growth. Some other bonuses, like 1.3 times faster that people get to the answer. Here's another important stat. 76% of those reinventors see non-financial targets as important. Back to the people things. What are the things that we're looking at that are not financial? Very important component. And as an added bonus, 32% higher performance on sustainability. So, hopefully, this gives you some food for thought on why you want to move from being a transformer to a reinventor. And if you like any of those statistics, all you have to do is go to Accenture.com and type total enterprise reinvention, and you can use any of those statistics that you want that help drive your business towards the reinvention strategy that you all want to have. So with that, thank you so much, and enjoy the rest of the day.